All right, for this next lesson, you're going to be using content that you learned in the last lesson to take a look at different types of culture through the Dollar Street activity. But I do want to just kind of go over what the content is that you're going to need to remember. So the first one is you're going to need to understand popular culture versus folk culture. And so popular culture, as explained in the last video, is pretty large. It incorporates heterogeneous or different types of population, and it's typically urban. And popular culture is fast paced, changes quickly, it's popular, it's practiced by people across identities and across the world, and encompasses material and non material culture. So, examples of popular culture that you see here are, like snowboarding and TikTok. And so, things that doesn't really kind of matter, like what your, you know, maybe it encompasses lots of different groups of people, not just like one particular smaller cultural group. Folk culture, on the other hand, is what we kind of consider to be more traditional culture. It could spread to mainstream, but it's really still considered much smaller, incorporates similar populations, similar groups of people. So it's more traditional types of dress. It's typically rural, meaning that it isn't as common in large cities. It is cohesive, meaning that people try to preserve those traits in order to claim uniqueness. So we think about these as like traditional types of food or traditional types of dress or traditional values, and they oftentimes diffuse when they do diffuse through relocation diffusion. So going back to what you're actually going to be doing today, you're going to be opening up this Dollar Street assignment. And when you open it up, it comes to an activity that looks like this. You are going to start by watching this video. So you're going to go here and you're going to watch the video starting at 4:40 and ending at 11:50. So when I click on here, I'm going to pause it for a minute. Oops.
So now I'm going to show you how I use Grammarly
I'm going to start at 4:40. I'm going to skip forward to about 4:40. But basically, this woman is the daughter of Hans, or sorry, of Rosalind, who did the Don't Panic video. And she and her husband have kind of continued Hans Rosling's mission of having people understand the world in different ways or just in better ways. And so she's going to explain the website that you're going to be using. It's called Dollar Street. And then you stop, but basically it's just going to explain like how the website was created. So you watch that, and then you're going to actually go to the website. So when we go to the website, we click here, and the website looks like this. So you are going to be taking a look at all sorts of pictures that were taken from around the world. And the key thing here is that you are looking at a street where the poorest people are on the left-hand side of the street and the richest people are over here on the right-hand side of the street. And you can change what you're taking a look at. So right now we're taking a look at, we're looking at families around the world by income per month. So this is the amount of income this family takes in per month. So over here on the poorer side, we have $29 a day, all the way up to $29 a month, all the way up to $10,000 a month. And so the first thing we need to know is that we can change what we want to take a look at. So instead of taking a look at families, I could take a look at all the people's beds. And it is going to change the people, but you're going to notice that beds look very different based on wealth. So over here, beds, all throughout the world where people are relatively poor are going to look different than the beds where people are relatively wealthy or rich. And so you're going to notice some differences just based on wealth. The other thing you can do is we could take a look at beds in the Americas. So that'd be North and South America. And I could take a look at beds all over the Americas. I could take a look at wealth and take a look at, this. So then you also can change it where now we're just going to take a look at the wealthier beds, and we're going to, change it so we're only looking at families that make a certain amount of money a day. They're still all living in the Americas, and we're seeing a lot of similarities. Doesn't matter if they're living in Colombia or the United States, beds look pretty much the same. Now we're going to take a look at teeth, so we can take a look at a whole bunch of different things, pets, but there's a lot of things that you can change. So we're going to take a look at pets, for example. Okay, so what you're going to be asked to do is just play around with the website for a little bit. Then you're going to write about 4 comparisons that you looked at. The first comparisons I'm going to give to you. So the first one is you're going to be taking a look at the most loved items. And so you're going to have to go and you're going to have to change it to most loved items. And so if you can't find it right away, you're going to just type in most loved items. It should pop up. And we're going to take a look at everywhere in the world. So we're going to get rid of Americas. Okay, so we're everywhere in the world. And we're looking at the most loved items in the world. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to say, what are some examples of popular culture? Remember, popular culture would be things that you would expect to see kind of everywhere. So if I'm looking here, popular culture, so for example, most of items. In South Africa, this girl has a computer, right? So she has a laptop or a cell phone, for example. Those would be popular culture. We're going to find those all over the world. And this Tanzania man is also, has a laptop. Whereas we're eventually going to take a look for some more folk culture. So we're looking for things that maybe are a little bit more traditional. So maybe this bag from Papua New Guinea. Although we could see a bag like this in the United States, it's not going to be as popular. So that could be considered like folk culture. So you might write, the bag from Papua New Guinea as an example of folk culture. And then you're just going to answer some questions about what do you notice about differences in material culture between different income levels? What do you notice about material culture in different regions of the world? And what did you find interesting or surprising? And then you're going to be asked to change it to homes and to toys. And then ultimately you're going to get to choose. And then there's some final questions. So you're going to answer questions about list 3 differences you see between the types of material culture and or the types of material culture different countries have. And you're going to relate these differences to income level and regions of the world. All right, so that's the assignment. Once again, I have office hours. Please reach out to me if you have any questions.